Hey there, I'm back again. It is 9 weeks since my colectomy. It is November 13th today, 2012. And I just thought I'd do a quick little update. There's been a couple people who emailed me and asked how I'm doing. And obviously I'm probably doing pretty well. I must be doing pretty well because that seems to be when you stop posting and talking about things is when you're feeling back to normal. So as I said, it's been 9 weeks since my surgery, and I've been back to work about 2.5 weeks, back full-time, off all lifting restrictions and such. I don't think I mentioned in any of my previous posts, but I'm a physical therapist in a hospital, so the possibility of lifting is always there, especially depending on the patients you have. And I usually take the stairs, not the elevator, so I'm usually covering a lot of ground at work as far as walking. So about a week before I went back to work, I made sure I was getting back to the gym and started, running and trying to build up my endurance and things again. Even though I was still on weight restrictions, I was still at least going through some gentle weight routines again, just to build things up for work. The first week back was a little rough as endurance goes and just being back to that 7-8 hour schedule a day, but made it through. I only had one issue at work with my bag, and it actually had to do with a patient who had a head injury, and I was trying to help him stand. And I originally had his arms holding my arms, but then he got nervous while we were standing and then just started grabbing for things, and I was really worried he was going to grab my bag because he was grabbing at my waist. He only managed to get a hold of my pager, so that was a good thing, but I did find myself kind of holding my bag away from him. So that was really the only thing, and I think that will be helped when I get this stealth belt that I've ordered. I talked about it in the previous video, and I ordered it a couple weeks ago. So it should be coming in a couple weeks. I'll let you guys know how that works out once I get it, but my bag won't be hanging down at that point. It'll be turned horizontally, and the belt will help hold it against my skin, so there shouldn't be any danger of that happening at work again. That was really, I'm trying to think, it's really the only thing at work that was an issue. The eating and drinking was a little bit of a transition back to work. I have a pretty big breakfast before I leave for work, and then we don't go to lunch until 11:30, and I start work at about 8 o'clock. So usually about 10:30 or 11, I'm starting to get hungry and or want water, but as I said before, if you drink water on an empty stomach, it's just going to go right through you. So usually on all the floors, I probably shouldn't say this in case anyone from the hospital's watching, but they have nourishment rooms on all the floors where you can get water for patients and things. And usually in the drawers in there is a pack of crackers or graham crackers. So usually I'll just grab a pack of those real quick and shovel down 2 crackers just so I can drink some water to get me through until lunchtime. And then usually I make it through until I get home to have a snack. So that's really not an issue. I'm emptying the bag usually once, maybe twice at work, usually around lunchtime, and then depending on how late I work, I may have to empty it again before I leave to go home. But I would say I'm still emptying the bag about 5 times a day. I've been getting up usually once a night, it's pretty consistently, to empty the bag. Not a big deal. Initially having to turn on the light in the bathroom was kind of keeping me up, but now that's not a big deal anymore. I had one issue with the bag. I don't know if anyone else has ever had an issue like this. I'm sure they have. I will probably never have it again. It was actually before I started back to work. I found that sometimes if you drink pop or eat gassy foods, for me it could be onions or garlic or beans, sometimes the bag will fill up with air. And this one night I woke up and the bag was like solid with air. And normally, as you as I undo the roll, the air starts to seep out a little bit, and then the pressure deflates, and then I finish unrolling the end of the bag, and then I can drop it down into the toilet to empty. Well, this of course was the middle of the night, and as soon as I took the Velcro part of the bag off, there was so much pressure that the bag just kind of took on a life of its own, and it was like a volcano. I can look and laugh at it now, and I know for those of you that may have queasy stomachs, it sounds kind of gross, and it was gross, but just things landed on the floor, on my feet, on my underwear, the splattered, of course, on the side of the tub and everything, and all I'm thinking is, it's 3:30 in the morning, I have to clean this up now. Oh my God, what a pain in the ass. But what are you gonna do? You get through it. And then I also realized that some got on the bag itself, so not only was I gonna have to clean the floor and everything, I was gonna have to change the bag. Needless to say, I did what I needed to do. I spent time cleaning this mess up everywhere, like I said, splatter, and cleaning my feet off and rinsing out clothes, and then of course bleaching, because I'm a germ freak, so I was bleaching the floor and the edge of the tub and the toilet and everything after all this, and I got the windows open to let the bleach smell go out. And then because I had a two-piece bag system on, it was actually, one of the positives was I was able to just take that bag off. I didn't have to change the whole flange and then put a new bag on. And I had actually never changed just the bag part from the flange. I'd never had to take it apart. So that was a positive, being able to see how that worked. The other positive I said was I'm glad I have no carpet in my floor on the bathroom. It's all tile. And the other positive was that it wasn't a work night. I hadn't returned to work yet. So, like I said, you live and you learn. I realize now in the middle of the night, if that happens again, to make sure that the bag is pointed down in the toilet in case anything like that happens again. So, sorry to gross you out if I did, but I just wanted to relay that one experience. Also, I think in one of my other videos I had mentioned I had what was called folliculitis, just inflammation of the hair follicles around the stoma, and I had talked with my stoma nurse, and actually she has a great system. Again, she's from University of Chicago, her name's Michelle. I just take a picture of my stoma when I change it, and a couple of them, and I can actually just email them to her, and then she can take a look at my stoma and the surrounding skin and say what she thinks I need to do or if things look good. So I had sent her a couple of pictures before when I had that folliculitis with the itchiness, and she said she diagnosed it as that, and recommended some special powder, which I got. It cleared right up. I also use a small trimmer. It's even smaller than a beard trimmer, but it's not as small as one of those funky like ear trimmers or nose hair trimmers. It's somewhere in between there. And that's what I use probably every second or third time I change the bag, just to trim all the hair as short as I can. I don't want to shave it because that gets itchy in itself, and you don't want to have a razor next to your small intestine. So I'm just real careful when I trim, and trim around there, and that folliculitis has been gone. And I actually got this no sting skin prep in a spray, so when I do change my bag I kind of spray that all over and let it dry real well, and that seems to be protecting the skin very nicely. There hasn't been any itchiness or anything. I have noticed a couple blisters or bumps right kind of where the stoma meets the skin, and I took pictures and sent those to my ostomy nurse, and she said they looked like what was called suture granulomas, which are basically just little bumps and blisters from the sutures. And she said they're really not a big deal, they just can be bothersome. So she called me in a prescription for it's a special kind of dental paste. They use it in dental work. You just swab a little bit of that on there, and that seems to have cleared up too. So those have been really the only issues with my skin. And now I've ordered my second supply of ostomy supplies, and I actually went to the pre-cut style bags. So if you remember in my video a few times ago when I first changed my bag, I was measuring my stoma and then having to cut the flange out for the size of my stoma, but now my stoma size has stabilized, so I was able to order pre-cut bags. So that'll actually save a little bit of time when I change my bags. Originally, they were saying you should change your bag every 4 to 5 days, 3 to 4, somewhere in there. I've kind of extended mine out to 6 to 7 days, as long as the adhesive is not breaking down, and I'm not having any issues. It's been fine to stretch it out that long, so there's been no issues with that. I am back to the gym. I'm getting back to the gym like 4 to 5 times a week. I'm basically finishing all my routines as I was pre-operatively. I'm not quite up to the same exact weights I was using pre-operatively, but I'm pretty close there. My weight has actually moved up to 193, 195. I attribute that a little bit because I'm building muscle again at the gym, plus I'm eating a little bit more to maintain going to the gym. But I am still planning probably in December to try and cut down some calories a little bit to try and get that weight down for the next surgery, which is scheduled in January of 2013. I already told you I'm waiting for the stealth belt. The other big thing I just wanted to mention is I have not had any second thoughts about having all of this done. It's 9 weeks post. I'm on no medications at all. I don't have to run to the bathroom. I'm not having any gut issues, no pain, no bloating, no bleeding. It's just, every time I think about it, it's amazing. You really don't realize how much you've been living with until you don't have it anymore. And I'm actually looking forward to Thanksgiving this year, because I don't have to worry about, oh, I can only have this and I can't have that, and because I used to love my mom's stuffing, but there's lots of onions in that and things, and so that never worked well with my colitis, and this year I don't have to worry about that. So the other big thing is I'm flying before Thanksgiving, and I flew a couple weeks ago, and I usually take the bus and the train to get to the airport. And of course, when you have colitis, you're trying to plan out, okay, I need to make sure I go to the bathroom before I go, and am I going to have to go while I'm on the train or on the bus to get to the airport? And it's just a lot of anxiety and things related around that, and no issues. You just, you get up, you empty the bag, and you jump on the bus, you jump on the train, you get to the airport, get on the plane, and there were no issues, no anxiety, and it's I keep saying this, I know in all my videos, but it's a great feeling to realize I don't have that anymore. And I realize I still have some hard roads ahead of me. I've done more research still on the J pouch, which for me will be completed in April, when all of this, the bag will be down and I'll be actually sitting on the toilet using the toilet like regular people. There can be issues with that. I've heard 2 to 4 weeks afterwards you're going to the bathroom all the time because you need to start to stretch out the internal pouch, and you need to take time doing that, so you can have those feelings again of colitis because you're going to the bathroom so frequently. And I'm not looking forward to that. I may not have it, I may have a good experience. I've been having good experiences so far, so, but it's in the back of my mind. And it sounds odd, but it does make me question, should I stay with this, with the permanent ileostomy? And part of that is because there was so many issues beforehand, and now things are great. So you're like, well, why in the world do I want to take a chance on changing that? And the other thing is, I know this now. Like, I used to know the colitis, and that's why I had such a hard decision to change, because I didn't know what was going to be after that. Well, now I've made that decision, and I know what's after that. And so now I know the ostomy and how to deal with it, and how it's affecting my life, or not really affecting my life. So to know that in the future, it's kind of uncertain because there are risks and things that can happen. You know, that's in the back of my mind of not having it done, although the reality portion of me kicks in and says, of course you're going to have this done. You know, you're 40 years old, and the bag isn't the greatest thing, like, for your relationships. And I've noticed, like, going to the gym, I used to go to the gym, change my clothes there, work out, take a shower, you know, change again and come home. And now, because I'm more self-conscious about this, I wear my clothes, my workout clothes, to the gym, and then I come home and shower. I don't shower at the gym and stuff. So that'd be nice to kind of get rid of all of that. So I know I will have it done because I need to at least give it a shot, and I could always, if things didn't work out with the J pouch, I could always revert back to this. But it's just weird. Before I had this surgery, it was, yeah, let's do a J pouch, J pouch, J pouch, and now that I've had this part done, it does kind of throw up that, things aren't so bad. Are you sure you want to rock the boat? But I'm assuming that's something that everyone goes through. So once I get the stealth belt, I'll make another quick video so you guys can see kind of how that works, and I'll let you know my experience with it. Other than that, I don't see anything else much coming up in my future except for in January, that second surgery. So I'll keep you posted on that. All right. Thanks for watching again. If you have any questions, comments, anything, you can leave them below the video, or you can always email me at ucandpsc@gmail.com. Take care.